Hi, hello, welcome you all to a new class on cash budget. Okay, so we all know about budget. Okay, budget is a financial planning for a future period. We have different types of budget like flexible budget, production budget, sales budget, master budget, zero based budget, and cash budget is one of the types. So in this class, we are going to see about an introduction to a cash budget and a very simple problem without any adjustment because cash budget do have adjustment. So to understand the methodology of working out a cash budget, today we are going to see how the cash budget is done basically, right? What is mean by a cash budget? So before working out problem in cash budget or before proceeding further in cash budget, first we should have a clear idea about what is a cash budget, right? So what does mean by a cash budget? Every company needs cash to carry out their daily operations. Yes, we all agree on this point, right? We cannot run any business without having adequate cash in our hand. However, the business is sound, we need working capital for our day-to-day performance of the business. And working capital include the current assets. The gross working capital include the current assets. And one of the current assets is cash, right? So we also include this as liquid assets, right? So to meet immediate requirement or to make immediate expenses, definitely we need cash in our hand. So every company must require cash. Cash budget is the budget prepared to find the cash requirement on monthly basis. So as we know that we require cash in hand to run our business flawlessly, we should also be aware of that what is the volume of cash we should have exactly in our hand, because it is not advisable to not have cash at all. On the other way, it is not advisable to have excess cash in our hand. So when you prepare a cash budget, you get an idea about what volume of cash I have to uh, get ready, or I may have to keep it ready to meet my business requirement. So again, no, the one more point you have to note down in this is prepared on the monthly basis. Okay, you cannot calculate cash requirement on daily basis. That is not a sound business. So when you are calculating your cash requirement, you have to make sure that you have to plan much ahead, at least a monthly basis. So it is generally prepared for next 3 months. So it is not compulsory that it should be prepared only for 3 months. So generally we prepare cash budgets for next 3 months. Why we have to prepare cash budget? Okay, so we have now got an idea about what is cash budget, right? Cash budget is a budget which we prepare to forecast our future cash requirement, right? Now, do we need to forecast it? What is the need? Determine the future cash needs of the family. So as I told you, basically the concept behind preparing a cash budget to determine the future needs. So this is as clear as that one important reason to prepare a cash budget. Planning for financing for those needs, right? So suppose, for example, if you are planning to go on a trip for a particular place, you're going to plan a trip for Shimla, right? So suppose if you're planning to go to Shimla, first what you do, you will plan that, okay, if I'm going to Shimla, what is the time available? Okay, I have 1 week. So within the 1 week, if I'm going to go means, so I should go by a flight. And what will be the flight charges, where I'm going to board, what will be the other expenses, suppose if I want to buy, what will be my shopping estimate, all that you make a estimation. And things doesn't settle down with estimation, so followed by the estimation, what do you do that do I have adequate amount to meet the requirement? So now if you feel no, then when you know what you need, next you check that whether you have what you need. So when you feel that you don't have what you need, you make arrangements for meeting the need. Okay, suppose you need you make a rough estimate and you find out that you need 50,000 to do all the stuff, and you found that you have only 35,000, then you have a shortage of 15,000, then what do? You make arrangement for the other 15,000. That is what planning for financing for those needs. Exercising control over cash and liquidity of the firm. So again, what do you mean by liquidity? Liquidity is that portion of asset which can be easily converted into cash. So again, when you prepare cash budget, so you get an idea that so what amount of liquid asset do I need to run my business. So if suppose sometimes you have excess more than your need, then you can make it invest in other things so that you don't no, you don't make your opportunities wasted in the form of liquid assets. You can invest in some business avenues. And above all this thing, is it definitely essential to prepare cash budget? You should have one basic thing in point. Cash budget is a part of management accounting, and anything you do under management accounting is not compulsory or mandatory according to the accounting principles and procedures. So anything you do under the management accounting is purely optional, purely customized. So based on the management needs, based on the management expectation, you can determine your things, whether I can prepare a cash budget or I can prepare a flexible budget. I can prepare a flexible budget for this limit, or I can prepare a cash budget for 2 months or 3 months, 1 month, 7 months, whatever it may be. It is purely customizable. It is purely up to your choice. And if you do prepare cash budget, these are the things, these needs can be addressed easily. All these needs can be addressed easily. That's why if needed, you can prepare a cash budget. Next, cash budget formula. So, and what is cash budget formula? Generally, we are going to prepare cash budget in a tabular form. You're going to prepare it in a format. Then what does that? It means a formula. It means a concept behind the format. So when you understand the concept behind the format easily, then you can easily apply in your format. Okay, what is the formula? Okay, if, for example, if you are preparing a cash budget for 3 months, the formula, the essential thing, the beginning of the cash budget is starts with opening balance. So the total amount of cash at the beginning of the month. So in the format, you will have a option called opening balance. Okay, as I told you already, cash budget is prepared on monthly basis. So at the beginning of every month, you have to record the opening balance of the month. What is the opening balance? The total amount of cash at the beginning of the month. So at the beginning of the month, the total amount of cash you hold in your hand, that is said to be opening balance. So now what do you do in the opening balance? As I told you, start with the opening balance. Then what do? You add the receipts to the opening balance. So once you enter the opening balance for the respective month, then you add the receipts you're going to get in the particular month. What are the receipts? The amount of cash expected to be received from various sources in the particular month. See, the amount of cash expected to be received from various sources in the particular months. Okay, is that clear? Because see here, you note the word cash expected to be received. Okay, Why you have to note this word cash expected to be received? As I told you in the beginning, cash budget is a budget prepared to predict the future cash requirements. Okay, you're going to predict the future cash requirement, that is before the expenses could happen or before the amount is received. You're just predicting that, okay, from this source I may get this amount, from this source I may get this amount, to this particular application I have to pay this amount. So you're predicting, these are the expenses I have, these are the receipt I may receive. So all that you are predicting, that is why it is called cash expected. So you have an opening balance. To that opening balance, you are estimating the various sources from which you could receive money in the particular month. That is what the receipts, the amount of cash expected to be received from various sources in the particular month, that you are going to add to the opening balance. Then, so when you add this receipts to the opening balance, okay, you get your total receipts. Okay, your total receipts includes your opening balance of the particular month. So when you add the receipts amount to the opening balance, you get the total receipts. Okay, so the first part of the formula is adding receipts to the opening balance, you get the total receipts. What does that follow in the formula? Less total payments. So from the total receipts, you have to subtract the total payment. What is the total payment? The amount of cash expected to be paid for various expenses in the particular month. Okay. What is total payment? The amount of cash expected to be paid for various expenses in the particular month. So just as you expect, okay, I may receive money from these places, I may receive money, this much money from my sales, I may receive this amount from this particular person. So similarly, you may also have an expectation that I have to pay this much amount for purchase, I have to pay this much amount on salary, I have to pay this much amount on rent, I have to pay my due this much amount. So you also have an expectation that, see, in this month I have to make all this payment. So now what you have to do, you have to list all the payments, calculate the total of the payments, and that total payment amount is subtracted from the total receipt. So now what you get? You get closing balance. Okay, so after you subtract total payments from the total receipts, you get closing balance. What is closing balance? The amount, total amount of cash left out at the end of the month. Okay, just as opening balance is the total amount of cash you have at the beginning of the month, then you add receipts, you find total receipts, then you deduct total payments. So finally you will have an amount left out in your hand. That left out amount is what we call it as closing balance. Okay, and one more thing, for example, if you are preparing a cash budget for the month of April, May and June. Okay, so you will start with the amount you have at the beginning of the April. Then you will add what are the amount you expected to receive on April. Then you will get the total receipts on April. Then after that you subtract what are the amount you expected to pay on April. That is your total payments. So finally you will be getting your closing balance, right? So now once you get the closing balance, that is the closing balance for month of the April. So the closing balance of the month of the April will ultimately become the opening balance for the month, the following month, May, right? So it will become the opening balance for the month of May. So the 1 month closing balance will automatically become the opening balance for the following month. Okay, April's closing balance will become May opening balance. May's closing balance will become June opening balance, right? So now I have explained you the basic right? The basic formula by which you prepare a cash budget. This is what the entire content. We generally do this in our daily life, right? Suppose before the next month fall, we expect that okay, next month I'm going to receive this salary. This will be my income. Okay, through my rent I will this receive this much amount. This will be my total income. And what is the left out money I'm having after doing all the expenses of this month? Okay, this is the money I have. So totally I will have this much amount. And what are the payment I have to pay for my loan? I have to pay for my children's fees. I have to pay this, that. So this is what generally we do. That is what is also done in the company, but they do it in a format. Now we are going to, so we understand the concept what is cash budget. Now we are going to apply it in the format. Okay, as I told you in the beginning, the opening, okay, the opening of the cash budget is opening balance. So this is how the format will be there. You have uh, two division, one division to for entering the particular, the other divisions for entering the amount, and this no number of columns is depend upon the number of months we are preparing. Suppose if we are preparing for 3 months, 3 columns plus one particular column. Suppose if we are preparing for 4 months, 4 columns plus one particular column. So now I have given you a basic format which we prepare for 3 months. See, particulars column, first month, second month, third month. So totally 4 columns. So as I told that in the um, beginning of the format, you begin with opening balance. So generally, no, this amount will be given in the problem. Okay, in the problem itself, they will state that at the beginning of the April, the company is having a cash balance of rupees 1 lakh, or as on April 1, the cash with the company is rupees 1 lakh. Sometimes they may even also give like that at the end of March 31, the company is having an amount of rupees 1 lakh, which means that the March closing balance end of March 31, March closing balance will be the opening balance of April, right? So some way they will give the information in case possibilities are there. If the information is not given, if any information is not given, you should not think that okay, this question is incomplete, the information is missing. So at that case, you have to assume that the opening balance is 0, right? So that's all simple. Okay, generally the opening balance will be given in different ways. If it is not available, you can assume that opening balance is 0. So once you enter the opening balance, you add receipts. So as of the company is concerned, one common receipt is sales. Okay, definitely we do a business, and in the business we do a selling activity, and through our selling we receive money regularly. So that is what we call it as sales. So you again an important thing, this is expected sales, because we are preparing before. Okay, we are preparing before the month. So we have sales budget to predict our sales forecast. So from that we will be having the sales we are expecting for the next 3 months. So based on the past experience, you have a different technique to forecast the sales for the forthcoming months. So this is the forecasted sales, and this is not the sales value, right? Listen carefully. This is not a sales value. This is this amount you receive from sales. Okay. So what is the difference between sales value and sale? Suppose I know I'm expecting that in April, okay, I will sell for rupees 80,000. So that is sales value. Okay. So in April, my sales will come around rupees 80,000. That is sales value. But we are not going to enter here sales value, we are going to enter here sales receipt. What is the difference? Okay, sales value, I have told that I am expecting rupees 80,000, around rupees 80,000, then that is a sales value. But when I do my business, all the sales are not cash sales. What do you mean by cash sales? So when the customer buy the product, they immediately pay for the product. When the customer receive the service, they immediately pay for the service. Then it is said to be a cash sales. But in practical, in general, okay, all the sales are not cash sales. So there is a possibility that it can be a credit sales also. Okay, the entire 80,000 cannot be a cash sales alone. It can be a credit sales also. What do you mean by credit sales? Okay, credit sales, when customer buys a product or receives a service, he pay part of the amount, he or she pays the part of the amount and the remaining amount on a later date, or sometimes pays the entire amount on the later date. Then it is said to be a credit sale. So generally our regular customers may have a tendency to have an account and they pay the amount on later date. So that is the difference between cash sales and credit sales. So when I expect a sales of rupees 80,000 for the next month, I have a chance that part of it may be a cash sales and part of it may be a credit sales. So based on my experience, my past business, I know that what percentage will be a cash sales, what percentage will be a credit sales. Now, suppose let us assume 50 percentage will be a cash sales and 50 percentage will be a credit sales, right? So when you assume that 50 percentage will be a cash and 50 percentage will be a credit, that means out of the 80,000, only 40,000 as amount I will receive this month. Remaining 40,000 amount I will receive in a future period. Okay. So in this month, I will receive a sales of rupees 40,000. So if this month amount I'm going to receive in a future date, so likewise I will also receive the previous month sales amount now. Okay. So suppose now March sales is 70,000. Okay. So out of which 50 is cash sales I received in March itself. Remaining 50 is credit sales that I am going to receive in April. So now I will be receiving the 50 percentage of March sales, that is 35,000, and now I will be receiving this month cash sales, that is 40,000. So totally I will be receiving 75,000. So here I will not enter the expected sales for the month, whereas I will enter the amount I will receive through sales for this month. Okay, I have explained the concept. If it is confusing, don't get fed up. I know when we see the example, you can understand easily, right? Now, okay, so like that, I will enter the sales amount I am expected to receive for the 3 months. Okay, and though you will always have a sales entry, but other receipt is subjective. Okay, it is not compulsory. You will have other receipt. Other than that, I know if you have a company premises that you have let for rent, you will receive rent from it. You have made investment anywhere, you will receive amount from it. So if you have any other receipts, so that receipts will be entered in this place. Okay. So what amount you are expecting to receive? Suppose you have a place, you have a premise that you have given for sale. So you have given for rent, then you will receive rent of rupees 10,000 every 3 months. So that you will make entry for the 3 months. Okay. Then after that you have to calculate total receipt. See, if you notice, I have entered 1 month opening balance, but I have entered 3 month sales, 3 month receipt, but I have calculated total receipt for only 1 month. So that is what you have to do. So first you have to finish 1 month by month. Now you should not calculate the total. Why you should not calculate the total in the beginning itself? Only when you know the opening balance for the second month, then only you can calculate the total receipt. So first you calculate total receipt only for the first month. Less payment. So just like that, you have sales receipt, you should also pay for your purchase, that is one compulsory entry, that is the purchase. So again, in purchase also, it is not the amount you are going to purchase every month. The amount, just we do receive credit sales amount, we may also pay for credit purchase, right? We may bought the amount in a future, in a past date, and now we may paying for it, right? So similarly, we'll be entering the amount we are going to receive on purchase. And other expenses like rent, interest, and what I mean by any specific expenses, there are some expenses which is exclusively for a particular month. Suppose at the end of, suppose at the May month, you generally give some bonus to your employee. Next, that is a specific expenses that appear only for the month of May. So likewise, sometimes you bought any new machines and you're paying for it, or a repair of the machine, installation of the machines. That is not a continuous expense. That is a one-time expenses that you expect for only one particular month. That is what we call it as any specific expenses. So make an entry of these specific expenses, then you can calculate total payment. And here you can calculate total payments for all the 3 months simultaneously. You don't need to wait for the completion process, because your total payment amount is not going to get affected by opening balance and closing balance. But if you require, you can do it in later also. That's according to your convenience. It won't create any problem if you do it in the beginning itself, right? So once now you know the opening balance of the first month, the sales of the first month, other receipts, the total receipts of the first month, the payments and the total payments of the first month, what you have to do, you have to find the closing. So closing balance is the closing balance is total receipts minus total payments. So this is the total receipts and minus this is the total payments. You get an answer. Now this is the opening balance of the next month. So now when you total this three things, you will get the total receipt of the second month. Then you deduct the total payment of the second month from the total receipts. You will get the closing balance of the second month. And the closing balance of the second month will be the opening balance of the third month. Then you add the opening balance and the other, you will get the total receipts for the third month. And then you will subtract the total payments of the third month from the total receipts of the third month. So finally you will get the total closing balance, right? So this is the entire thing, as simple, very simple concept. So you will get the closing balance. And now, and one more thing I want to tell you, that it is not expected that this closing balance or this opening balance will always be positive. There is a chance that it may be negative or it may be zero. Suppose let us assume that if the cash balance or total receipts of first month is 1 lakh and the total payment of the first month is 80,000. Now 1 lakh minus 80,000, you may get a closing balance of 20,000, right? Suppose if you expect the total receipt is 1 lakh and the total payment is 1 lakh. So 1 lakh minus 1 lakh, it is 0. You don't have any closing balance. You have spent all the amount you expected. You have, you have payment for all the expected amount. Suppose the total receipt is 1 lakh and the total payment is 1 lakh 20,000. Now you will have a negative, a shortage of rupees 20,000. It means that in the particular month, the total receipt is not enough to meet the total payment of your month. That is, you expect a shortage of rupees 20,000. So in that case, that is the need for preparing a cash budget. So once you prepare a cash budget much in advance, you come to know that whether you have adequate amount or not. And based on that, you identify and you what do? You make arrangements for the shortage amount. So that's the main reason for the cash budget. Now we'll see an example. Example 1. So this is a very simple problem I am explaining now. So next I will upload another video on adjustment in cash budget. Okay, this is a simple problem without any adjustment, just to understand the concept. Then I will also teach you a problem, separate video, problem with adjustment, right? Okay, so first we'll see the simple example. From the following information, prepare a cash budget for the period from January to March 2018. So we have 3 months, January, February, March, and expected sales 30,000, 25,000, 28,000, expected purchase 24,000, 20,000, and 15,000. And we also have some additional information. Wages are to be paid to workers will be rupees 3,000 per month. So every month we are expected to pay rupees 3,000 wages. It is one expected payment. An income tax of rupees 7,000 is to be paid on the month of February. So here you have one specific payment. Only on the month of February you have one expenses related to income tax. That is, you are expected to pay rupees 7,000. And the other information available is cash balance on 1st January 2018 may be assumed to be rupees 4,000, and we are expected to have rupees 4,000 at the beginning of Jan 1, and we are expected to prepare a budget on January to March 2018. So shall we prepare? Right. So as we know that the opening balance we are expecting is rupees 4,000. Okay. Now to that we have to add the receipt. So the receipt is sales. We don't have any other receipts as of this problem. We don't have any receipt, any other receipt information. The only receipt information available is sales. That is 30,000, 25,000, 28,000. And here they have not given any information about 50% is cash sales, 50% is credit sales, 10%. So when no such information is available, it is assumed that the entire sales is cash sales. That is, for every sales made, we have received the amount. So we have received 100% cash sales. So in this case, cash value is equal to cash sales. So cash sales, so receipt, sales receipt is, what is that? 30,000, 25,000, 28,000. Let us see. 30,000, 25,000, 28,000. As I told you, first you have to calculate the total receipt only for 1 month. So 30,000 plus 4,000, 34,000. Have to do next we have to make the entry for payment. So the one common payment entry is purchase. Okay, first we'll make entry for purchase. So just like that, we don't have any additional information for the cash to know whether it is a cash sales or credit sales. So we assumed all the sales is cash sales. Similarly, we don't have any additional information to estimate that whether it is cash purchase or credit purchase. So let us assume all the purchase as cash purchase. We have paid amount for everyone, every purchase immediately. So what is the amount? 24,000, 20,000, 15,000. Okay. See, 24,000, 20,000 and 15,000. So we have entered opening balance. We have entered the receipt. Find total receipt for the month of January. Now we have made the purchase entry. What is the next entry followed by is wages. See, wages are to be paid to workers will be rupees 3,000 per month. So every month I have to pay rupees 3,000 for wages. And the other information is 7,000 on the month of February. See, so all the 3,000, okay, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000 for wages. And in February, we have to pay 7,000 for what? Income tax. So income tax, no entry on other 2 months, only entry on February. So that's all. We don't have any other information. So you can calculate the total payments. So 24,000 plus 3,000, 27,000. So now you'll find the closing balance for the first month. The total receipt for the first month is 34,000. That is 30,000 plus 4,000, 34,000. And the total payment for the first month is 27,000. So 34,000 minus 27,000 is equal to 7,000. The closing balance for the month of January is 7,000. So now, as I told you, the closing balance of one month will be the opening balance for the other month, right? So since the closing balance for the month of January will be the opening balance for the month of February. That is 7,000 will be the opening balance for the month of February. So now we can make a total of the receipt for the February. So we can continue the process. 7,000 plus 25,000, so which is 32,000. Now the total receipt for February is 32,000 and the total payment for February is 30,000. So 32,000 minus 30,000 is 2,000. So 2,000 is the closing balance for February, which will be opening balance for March. So the total receipt for March is 2,000 plus 28,000, which is 30,000. So 30,000 total receipt minus 18,000 total payment, which is 12,000. So hence at the end of the March month, we are expected to have a 12,000. So as of this problem, this case is concerned, you don't have any shortages or you don't have a zero balance kind. So things are going smooth. We can manage with our expected payment, expected receipt to meet our payments. Okay. So that's